What's up, Rambo? Oh, you said you're not feeling well. Is everything alright? I'm doing well. Yeah, it's the weekend. I get to breathe a bit. Oh yeah, I heard it at Ismos. You call it monsoon, is that correct? Um, yeah. No, the temperature fluctuations really they're the breeding ground for sickness. So yeah, I always get sick whenever we change season as well, but it's mostly from summer to autumn, and then from winter to spring. So I should be, touch wood, getting sick soon, but hopefully not soon. Monsoon. Is it summer in India at the moment? Because over here we're almost in spring. It's gonna be spring, I think, on Sunday, 1st of September. So spring, and then it's gonna be summer by us. Yeah. The whole idea of hemispheres and just time zones and everything is still so baffling to me. Drop the gain a little bit. This is quite a bit. Not summer, it's rainy season, monsoon. Like, not sure how that works. Thank you, Nostalgia. So like, do you have an extra season? Or am I really just that ignorant? Like, there's only 4 seasons, right? I'm not crazy. Huh. Oh no, literally just riffing. It's not a specific song. Spring, summer, monsoon, autumn, pre-winter, and my word. Phew. I've never actually heard that. Yeah, for us it's literally just the 4 seasons. Just summer, autumn, winter, spring. And that's about it. But yeah, monsoon, it's a new concept for me just to wrap my head around. Like, yeah. So interesting. Spring, summer, then monsoon. Okay, I get you. Yeah, we also technically have like a monsoon then as well, because like in the last half of summer, we also have our rain, and then we have autumn, and then I guess we do maybe have some sort of a monsoon, but yeah, in our country it's more. It's not like a given. It's when we get rain, we are very, very grateful. Especially in my region of the country, it's semi-desert, arid. So yeah, like you're sort of really grateful when we get rain in summer. You don't want to get rain in winter because then it's really difficult to harvest when you need to get into the fields. But yeah, really, really interesting. Trapped Under Ice solo, I have not. Let me quickly have a look at it, because I'm sure I'll be able to. Okay, well, I say that now, but let me actually have a look at it. I remember playing Trapped Under Ice by my best friend's house on Guitar Hero World Tour. That was one of the Metallica songs on there, and it was so cool. Yeah, man. Let me just check on my phone rather, otherwise it's going to be copyright, all that stuff. Trapped Under Ice. Just work on my downstrokes for like James Hetfield just. That, and also on World Tour was the Eddie Van Halen solo of Beat Up by Michael Jackson. And then it was also what was that other one? Sweet Home Alabama was also there. And that Tool song, Vicarious, was also there. Trapped Under Ice. Dan geef me breed. Dat is lekker. Let's have a look at this. We face only winter, monsoon, and summer due to climate change and the global warming. Yeah, it's like it's very difficult to really make certain climate predictions now because it's like things are not the way they used to be like 100 years ago. Or also technology and everything's just developed so much. So yeah, luckily in South Africa we don't really get climate disasters. The closest we'll have is maybe a drought here and there, but we're sort of geared for that. Our crops and our animals are sort of, they're made for surviving droughts. But like if you look at America, there's all these disasters, and I think Japan also has like a bunch of stuff. Japan has a lot of climate challenges. I'm going to look at Trapped Under Ice just now. Let me check quickly. Let me see. When you started playing, did you feel pain in your thumb muscle? Okay, your left thumb or your right thumb? Very, very important, because that'll determine how I can assist you. I lift weights, so I figure it should be normal since it's muscle. Not necessarily. Like with some of the stuff, you don't really want to push yourself too much. Your left one, the riffing one. Okay, very, very important. You said I tried to play guitar at the end stream, one Indian song and got covered. Oh man, dude. Like, right? It's insane. Some of those copyright stuff, but it's also getting worse because of AI, so it's not like there's not a human review sort of thing, and then it's just, my word. Okay, let me just quickly check nostalgia with your left one. So this can be happening for a number of reasons, and if there is pain, rather take a step back and think about some of the things I'm going to tell you now. So one thing, you don't necessarily want to extend your wrist like this. Generally not. You don't want to be like this and then fretting like this and everything. That'll be a big problem because now you're stretching these muscles and then trying to play in a flexed position or an extended position rather. So that's not good. Then another thing with your thumb at the back of the neck. As some people overlook quite a bit. You don't necessarily want to do this. Like have your thumb like this. Like sort of like that. You maybe want it a bit more like this. So you can twist your wrist a little bit like this. Turn it like this. When it comes to any sort of guitar stuff or motor learning stuff that requires lots of repetitions, micro repetitions over an extended period of time, you generally want to understand where your neutral position is or your resting position. You don't want to necessarily be in a abnormal position and then practice in that zone. That's really not a good thing to do. So what I mean by a neutral position, a resting position, is if you weren't doing anything, like if you were to like fall down now and just like pass out, what would the state of your hand be in? Would it be like this? It won't be like that. It won't be like this either. You'll be sort of relaxed like this. Your wrist won't necessarily be in any sort of exaggerated position. So first thing with this, have a look with your hand. Your hand, your palm, should generally be facing your face when you're playing. So you're not going to be playing vertically parallel to the frets like a classical guitarist necessarily. You'll be having it sort of face you. So your hand will be at a bit of an angle like this, if that makes sense. So that's the one thing. And the further up the neck you go, obviously this position will change like this. So it's still going to be facing my face. It's still going to be facing there. So you want to make sure that you have that sort of motion going. It will be very natural. But what you don't want to do is twist your wrist too much, or twist your forearm actually. It's really your forearm that's doing this motion. So you don't want to do this too much because that's going to cause a lot of pain here and by extension to the things you're flexing, like your thumb. one bad habit you want to get out of as well is using your left hand to actually hold the guitar. That's not its function. The strap is supposed to hold the guitar, and or in my case, your leg is supposed to keep the guitar up. Like I need to have the freedom to just move my hand along it. I don't want to have to lift the guitar with my left hand. You want to then focus on, okay, there's a bunch of stuff here. Let me just take a step back again, just to make sure I'm not speaking too confusing. You want to be in a resting position as much as possible. Have the palm of your hand face you while you're playing. Have the palm of your hand facing your face wherever you are. Don't twist or do these things a bit too much. Try to avoid that. And then with your thumb, you don't want to have it like that. You don't want your thumb to necessarily be away from your index finger or your middle finger. You want to actually have it close to there. Like you don't want your thumb to now be further away. That's going to cause a lot of pain on this part of your thumb. So you generally, depending on where I am, I will have my thumb and either my index finger or my ring finger sort of aligned behind the neck. So if I'm playing like this, that's good, cool. And then when I go higher, I'll sometimes drop my thumb even more so that I can maintain this consistent wrist position. I don't want to now when I go higher, I don't want to do this and then go up like this. You want to sort of do this and drop your thumb like that. So you move your hand up and down using either your elbow or your shoulder. You'll drop it a little bit like that. But generally, you'll be using your elbow to go from this position. Let me just see if you can see my thumb and my other fingers. So like that. And you'll be going a bit down like that. Like that. So that sort of thing. That's the motion you want to be doing. You don't want to be doing this. That's going to mess you up here. And it's not like a muscle that you're training where eventually you'll get stronger at it. It's a lot more detailed than that. So it's rather go a little bit slower and think about these little details a bit much more. Got something pretty cool I want to show you. Is it good if I send you something like that? Yeah, sure, man. Send. I'm very glad to hear that, Rambo. It is such a small, minor detail, but the thing is, it can really hurt you. I've had problems with many moving parts involved here. So, C# major chord. I'll have a look at that just now. So that's going to be that one. I'll show you exactly how to approach that. Let me just check nostalgia. I've been trying to use a neutral position. The sliding between power chords seems to make my thumb act like an anchor. That's what makes it sore. How do you handle it? So are you doing this? Nothing here? Are you doing that? Or are you sort of, is everything moving together as a unit? Or when you move to the one, do you go like this? Or like that? Or something like that? Very, very important distinction as well, because there's different types of movements. But when you're fretting, you might be fretting a bit too hard. The second one as a unit. Okay, that's good. That's how you should be moving. Yeah. There. Okay, now that whole thing. Yeah. So you don't want to use more pressure than you need to. So I think what's actually happening in your case is you're fretting too hard. You're pressing the strings a bit too hard. You don't want to necessarily use more pressure than you need to. With Slayer, obviously you have like all this, if you're playing War Ensemble or all these really, really cool songs from them, it can be tempting to sort of give in a lot of pressure for each thing that you're playing. You don't want to necessarily do that. You want to sort of develop a bit of a lighter touch. And how you do that, start with one finger, place it touching the string, not fretting it, just touching the string. Now I'm going to be picking, and then slowly add pressure. Keep picking with your right hand, slowly add pressure until you hear the buzz. You hear the buzz? And and then just add a fraction more, and that's as much pressure as you need. You don't want to give more because it's going to tense your muscles, and it's also going to make the thing go out of tune like this. If I press too hard. And when you press really hard like this, what's going to happen? Your thumb is going to tense up. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. We want to press a lot softer. You don't need as much pressure as you maybe think you do. So now I'll do this same thing with my other fingers. I'll go. There we go. And my pinky. Like that. Like that. So there's these little details, but you don't want to treat this as like a bicep that you're training with weights. And that's totally the wrong approach. You will get these micro tears in your muscles, very rarely in your tendons, but that is like worst case scenario if you're really pushing yourself. Rather focus on the actual mechanics that go into fretting just a bar, not a bar chord, a power chord. Shouldn't be painful. So yeah, just practice that. Sorry, let me just read up again. I'm still not getting to hold the C sharp major chord. It's a little bit tough. Okay, from the first 4 frets. Okay, so the C sharp major, be like that. Let me quickly just get a clean tone so that you can play a C sharp major in a number of different ways. Yeah, GG, I'll have a look at that solo just now. So I'm going to quickly check with Rambo. So first 4 frets, like, I think you are pressing too hard, yeah. Practice slowly with metronome. Not necessarily. Put a pin in that. I'm going to get back to that now. Yes, practice slowly, but don't only practice slowly. I'll get back to that just now. So first 4 frets, like first fret bar, second fret, second string, okay. First fret bar, second fret, second string, third fret, fourth string. Okay, let me show you precisely how I'll play a C sharp major. So you'll go the A string, the 5th string, will be there on the 4th fret, and then 6th fret on the D string or the 4th string, and then also 6th fret on the G string or the 3rd string. So that's how you can play C sharp major. Right now I'm in a complete different tuning, so it's not going to sound like this. It's going to sound a lot higher on if you're in standard tuning, but that's how I'll play a C sharp major power chord. You can play a full C sharp major by using your pinky and pressing down, like using this part of your pinky on the 6th fret of the D, G and B strings, like that, and then putting your index finger there, so you can sort of do something like that. That's a C sharp major chord. It's easy on electric, but on acoustic guitar we need to press it a little harder. That's very, very true. Acoustic guitars also have tighter strings. The string tension is a lot more, so you have to press significantly harder. But if you want to play now a C sharp major with acoustic, what I would do is, unless the song is, if the song is in E major, and you're going to play, oh no, but then you won't be playing a C sharp major. Okay. What I would do with acoustic, Rambo, is I would get a capo. It's this sort of plastic thing that you press here. You sort of clamp it down, and then you'll be using open chords for everything. But that's a whole another thing. But for acoustic, you generally want to learn how to use a capo. So let me just write that in the chat so you know. It's a capo. It is a very, very useful tool because these chords are very, very nice, and they're easy, and they're not as demanding for strength. So if you can use these shapes and then just change the key by adding a capo. Again, it might be intimidating at first, but if you understand a little bit of the music theory about the major scale and what chords are in the major scale, then a capo is just a life changer. It'll make playing any song just significantly easier, especially on acoustic guitar. Okay, then first fret, full bar. Full bar, second fret, B string. Third fret, D string. Fourth fret, A string. Oh, I see what they're doing. That is a C sharp major. That is a way to play it. You can play it like that. I can play it like this. Same thing. So that's essentially the chord that they're playing. That is a C sharp major. It's another way to play it. The thing with guitar is there's multiple ways of playing the same thing. This chord itself, yeah, it's very, very difficult because you need to press really, really hard. Because now, yeah, you need to, and the thing is that is going to hurt your thumb quite a bit if your strings are a bit too tight. Because now in order to make sure nothing's buzzing, you kind of have to press with your thumb against the back of the neck, and then it's just like you can't really do that for so long. It's exhausting. So yeah, I would rather use a capo, because if you want to play a C sharp major with a capo, put the capo on the first fret. It's a thing like this, and then you can play it the exact same way that you play a C chord. But now, obviously, the capo is going to be holding those two notes. So it's going to be... So now you don't have to press as incredibly hard. So get yourself a capo. They're very, very... I think they may be like $5 or something like that. So at any music store, it's definitely going to make a big difference. So when you want to play like a sharp chord or something, again, this depends on what key you're in, and that will come with experience and everything, but I would definitely use a capo to play a C sharp major. I wouldn't do it just like this. That'll be so painful. Ugh. Oh my word. Okay. Nostalgia for the practicing. You do want to make sure that your technique and your movements and everything is solid when you're playing all these power chords and everything. And for using a metronome slowly, that's perfectly fine. But you don't want to just increase your tempo by like 1 BPM every bit. Reason being is you're going to be using different types of muscles when you're practicing slowly versus when you're practicing fast. You're going to want to you're going to want to jump into a tempo that's close to whatever Slayer song you want to learn. So it'll probably be like 200. But like close to there, you want to jump into that bit, because you're going to be using different muscle groupings. You're going to be using different sort of motions. There's going to be momentum. There's going to be gravity, believe it or not, becomes a factor at high speeds. So you do want to practice slowly when you're checking your motions. At a mid-tempo, let me start over. Let me put it this way. Start without the metronome. Make sure that your technique and everything is sorted. Once that's done, cool. Go to about 25% to 50% of the original song's tempo and practice that in order to develop the rhythm of what you're playing, so that you have some sort of rhythmic context for whatever you're playing. Once you're comfortable with that, then push yourself to play at about 90% of the song speed, 90 to 100% of the song speed, and break it up into like a bar. Don't play the entire verse or the entire chorus riff or something like that. Break it up into a bar and then sort of do these bursts. Like if I had to practice Raining Blood, like you know, like that. I wouldn't necessarily practice the whole thing. I'll practice it in like maybe 5-note segments or something. So I'll go like. Because it's much easier for me to be conscious of this motion that I'm doing and just know exactly what techniques I'm using in that little bit. And if you push yourself into that tempo zone, that fast tempo zone, then you'll start seeing is the decisions that you made in step 1 before you did your rhythm training, when you were just deciding on your techniques and your motions and everything. You'll see if those decisions were the right decisions. So then you can reevaluate and then get your reps in and everything like that. But this is a very, very long thing that I can get into for probably like a couple hours. So yeah, that's how to practice. So yeah. So Rambo, but changing chords with this chord is very odd. Yeah, especially because you're doing this. Sorry. Some songs there are open chords and one the C sharp major. So can't use a capo in that song. You can. And the thing is, you're going to be changing the way you play specific chords. What is the key of the song that you're playing that uses the C sharp major chord? Because then we can use a capo in order to transpose what we're playing in order to use open chords. I generally, when I'm playing acoustic, I will always have a capo here so that I can just slot it in there. Otherwise, it's going to be, it's going to be really, really painful. And you want open chords with acoustic, especially. Let me check Gigi. So you want to learn, what's that? Nadan Parende. Let me have a look. Parende. Oh wow, that's got some speed to it. Guy here who plays guitar professionally says the newbies or noobs use capo. This is how it works. Let me put it this way. So you know a bell curve, like on the left side you have people who are new. Then in the middle, where the majority of people are, you have like intermediate players and everything. And then on the far right, you have the experts. And more often than not, the experts agree with the noobs. Like the people in the middle, like this guy, for instance, will say, only newbies use capos. Really? Oh man. The same thing you see in jazz circles. Jazz circle people are generally in the middle. So you have people when you're a beginner, you learn. You learn your pentatonic, your minor pentatonic. And then when you get a bit better, you're like, all right, so now I'm going to use a Phrygian dominant scale so I can outline the modal harmony of whatever the chords are playing. And then you go. And then you do all that stuff. And then when you get to a pro level, you're back to. So, like, don't worry about what he's saying. Like, the thing is, if it sounds good, play it. Like, why does this guy have to gatekeep you? Like, noobs use capos. I use capos. Professionals use capos. Everyone uses them. You don't have to be such a try-hard. Just enjoy the instrument. Like, what the flip, man? Ugh. For strumming, I am making some mistakes, missing strokes, double strokes with a pick. Okay. So with acoustic, you generally want a softer pick. I don't know if you have a shark fin pick. It's like those white ones that has like a shark fin sort of thing. And you want to use that rather for when it comes to acoustic guitar picking, because it doesn't give you as much restriction. So the motion you can work on with your right hand, with your strumming hand, is now you can sort of relax your wrist completely and have almost all the motion come from your forearm. So you're going to be going like this. Like imagine you're trying to dry your hand, if I can put it that way. Like you wash your hands now and you want to dry your hand. You go like this. You know, like that. You're just sort of drying your hand. Okay, 0.45 millimeter pick, perfect. So now imagine this motion. You're trying to dry your hand. You just want to do that. It's sort of like that, not as aggressive, but the idea is the same. You sort of have the forearm go up, and then because of the momentum, your hand will go like this when you go back down. So it's like that. That sort of motion. So that's the motion you want. Obviously not too much. You don't want to now like that. You can sort of just, but like generally my wrist won't be doing any, I won't engage my wrist for anything. My forearm, or not my forearm, my forearm will be doing all the moments like that. Only wrist moment, not necessarily. Like you don't want to strum like this. That's going to be exhausting, and it's not going to be as good. If I can just put it in simple words, it's not the right technique for strumming. You can strum like this, but the thing is you're going to be you're gonna struggle quite a bit, because every time you do this, it's like you're extending this with muscle, and you don't want to do that. You can have it naturally with gravity is one thing, but if you're now using force to get it into that position, that's a different thing. So yeah, with your so Rambo, just let your wrist sort of relax like this, and then when you throw it up, like it'll naturally move into this direction because of the momentum. So use your forearm, your elbow, that sort of thing, and then strum like this. Because this in certain situations that'll work, but like generally for acoustic you'll be going like so. Yeah. It's these little things that really just make a massive impact. Oh man. Let me quickly have a look at this Nadine Parende. Very good to hear. I hope this helps. And use a capo, dude. Like, really. You really want to be such a tryhard. Use a capo. If anything, it'll at least get you to the next phase of playing where you might not need a capo anymore. But I mean, come on, dude. Like, yeah. Let me have a look at this solo. Okay, so that seems to be the first bit. Might actually have to use a different guitar. This one's tuned in a different way. Wait, let me just tune up. That's what it sounds like. Let me make sure. I don't know if Gigi's still here, but yeah. No? No, Gigi, we can definitely go through this. It's not too bad. Let me quickly look. I can't remember. Let me have a look here. Tapo, what's up, man? Okay, let me just quickly check here. There we go. Okay, let me go back to it. Yeah. Oh, what is that emoji? Please remind me, Rambo, what is that song called again that you wanted me to go through? I had it and then I lost the name. What was that one again? Oh man. Taper. That is cool. Huh. So that's the player series. Oh man, dude, that is gorgeous. Oh my word. Nice. Oh, that is so cool. It's got the humbucker as well in the bridge, so you might be able to just get a bit thicker tones when it comes to that. But no, dude, that is so cool. Huh? Oh, the sunburst. Oh man. Dude, that's so cool. Okay, let me check. Rambo. Yes, you sent me on Insta. Yeah, let me have a look at that. Ekasinathi. That one. Yes. Ekasinathi. Yes. I'm actually gonna do something with that. I'm going to on one of my live streams, I'm gonna transcribe the song. So I'm gonna have my sheet music and everything on screen. Well, I'm gonna create the sheet music for it, so you can also see how I go about figuring out the parts to songs and everything. So let me do that on a specific day, and then I'll go through it properly and thoroughly. I think it'll be very, very good for me as well, just to sharpen up my acoustic skills a bit. I think I'm gonna do that. Oh man, yo, that looks incredible. Yes. Typo. Man, sick. But yeah, Typo. Oh, dude, it looks gorgeous. Oh man, no, I'm super stoked for you. That is really really cool. Like and the player series, like the quality control is up there with the made in USA ones. Like the everything's just been so refined now. Everything's done with CNC machines. So yeah, like amazing. Oh, dude, that is incredible. Oh, flip. You must enjoy that one. That's gonna be me for tonight. I'm gonna spend some time with my wife. So yeah, thank you all for joining in. And Rambo, we're gonna have a session where I go through that song. Then I'll show you exactly how I learn songs and how I transcribe them and everything. So I think that'll be really interesting. But yeah, cheers everyone. Rambo, so like you know the song you sent me, the Ek Hasina Thi. What I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna transcribe it. Like I'm going to figure out the chords pretty much and write it down on screen and the notes of everything. So then I'll write it down so that we can somewhere learn this thing together, and then we can have a look at it. But yeah, cool, man. Have a great evening. Hope you get better soon. Yeah, get some rest, drink a lot of water, and just have some tea. I also have some tea right here. So yeah, get some rest, man, and hope you feel better soon.